What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Aces Conference, the podcast. I'm Justin from Virtual Computers and Aces, and always with me from across the world, because only the United States is the world, Tim Pearson of Creative Text. What's up, Tim?
Hey, Justin. How's it going?
Do you find that Americans only believe that only America is the world? We're not getting political here. We're just...
Oh, dude, I don't even know what the East... My geography is so bad, I don't know the East Coast.
I made a reference the other day that every state between New York City and LA was a flyover state. My apologies, Kansas.
Sorry, John.
Sorry, literally everyone.
Yeah, we apologize.
So I want to tell you about this really awesome thing I put together today to help
Coastal
my
elite.
teams. Yeah, right. But it's to help my team's productivity, man.
Okay, tell me about it.
Okay, so Client X, when they would send us onboarding forms, they actually had this Word document that they had us fill out with a table in it. It was really weird and silly, and we've been doing it for a while. We just didn't care. Now
you got an onboarding document.
Well, most of our clients use our onboarding forms that we have. I build in Gravity Forms in WordPress an onboarding form, so my clients can go to virtualcomputers.com/their name -onboarding. And
I'm writing down Gravity Forms. Sorry.
It's okay.
Go ahead.
And so remember, this is video, and now you're off.
Sorry, everybody. I'm
now in the audio, we said this is video and you're off, and they don't understand what's going on. So anyway, so these guys didn't really have a really good onboarding form. And right before the holidays, I spoke to my point of contact, or what you would call a champion. And we were talking about onboarding, and we were talking about how it was something that he wishes was a little smoother. So I spent the day, well, not the whole day, but a good portion of my day today. I rebuilt the form in Typeform as opposed to Gravity Forms. I like Typeform because it's one question at a time in front of you, and you can reference things from previous questions in the next question. So I can write hey, what's your name? And you would write Tim, and then my next question would be hey Tim, what's your email? So we built out the form, did a little logic does this person need a new computer? Yes or no? And if they click yes, it asks one question, and if they click no, it skips that and whatever. From there, we took the type form, and we have two notifications. One is a Slack notification in our team Slack, because our team Slack, we have channels for each one of our monthly maintenance clients. It dumps it into there, and it's a little big, but it's not they're hiring people all that often, so it's fine. And it sends a ticket to Zendesk. Okay? Now, I have it set up so that way the subject of the email is Client X has successfully filled out the new onboarding form. Now, that's important to know that I made a very long subject on purpose. In Zendesk, the ticket gets opened. The ticket requester is the email address that the person put in the form, because you can set that in Typeform, which is cool. The subject is Client X has successfully filled in the onboarding form. Then we have the Tasks app from SweetHawk in our Zendesk, which is super cheap. I want to say it's $4 an agent, maybe $2 an agent. And
I think it might be $2.95, but
really?
I could be wrong.
It's somewhere. It's no more than $4.
It's cheap.
Yeah, it's cheap. And so you can create these task lists. What you can also do is create reusable task lists. It's a hard word to say. So they actually have on their website instructions on how to do this. You can set up a trigger in Zendesk to automatically apply a task list to a ticket. So we set up the trigger that says if a ticket is created, and the subject and the entire phrase of that subject line, because we use it as a string, right? Not contains, but is, right? We're talking about Boolean math. Is Client X has successfully filled in the new onboarding form. It will automatically open the ticket and add that task list. And in that task list is the steps that my operations manager needs to do. And the last step is hand off to consultant to follow directions that we have in IT Glue on how to specifically set up their computer.
Nice. That's awesome.
It's awesome. I thought about this. What?
Oh, let's. Can we play the Tim math game?
Sure.
How much time do you think that saves for one
For
setup?
one setup, probably an hour to an hour and a half, because there's a lot of back and forth, which we try to nick out by having the client review the drafts of the form. Like, we obviously went back and forth with them on that, and we standardize the type of machines that they're getting, and that's in the form. And my operations manager has the instructions right there. And I forgot to add, and this was your suggestion that I tweaked a little. You can have links in the task. There's like a little question mark. You have a link. So one of them is configure jump cloud. She just clicks the link and it goes right to our jump cloud login.
Nice. Tim is so smart.
And then she checks them off. Boop, 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 boop. This way there's no mistakes.
That's fantastic.
That's the click. It's not about time. It's about not making mistakes.
Well, okay, but so it's about both, right? Because
Yeah.
if we were using this, remember the example from the previous podcast where we talked about
When we only had 4
back
listeners.
when we only had 4 listeners.
I called it.
So
I called it 4 listeners.
So maybe somebody heard it or will remember of it.
Okay, yeah.
But we talked about when you lost a big client
Right.
and all the onboarding and offboarding you were doing.
Right. Yeah, so...
Not that this would save, right, this wouldn't save all that money or that time. But
It would save some, but sure.
Sure. But even so, like if we just talked about this and you said, well, this new customer or this particular customer, first of all, you can repeat this process for all your customers, right?
Yep. Now that I've
Yeah,
built
yeah,
out...
that's a win.
Like, it took me... Don't get me wrong. It took me, I would say, 4 to 5 hours to build out this process. But this is what I've been thinking about, right? What's the definition of insanity?
Right, doing the same thing over and over.
And expecting change, right? What's
Right.
the definition of scaling a business, of being an entrepreneur? Having a business that's scalable and repeatable. It's
Yep.
literally the same thing, right? So what I'm doing is we're taking the insanity out of the mistakes, of making mistakes, and we're creating a scalable component here. And like, sure, we'll tweak it a little bit as we go, and you have to reiterate. But now, we have 8, 9, 10 monthly maintenance clients who all submit onboardings.
Sure.
I just have to, and between Zendesk, I can click clone, and in Typeform, I can click clone, and most of my clients use the same software.
Right.
Simple.
No, I love this. So I have a much less automated version of this just with like IT glue checklists.
Right.
And, I found that it saved a ton of mistakes and a bunch of back and forth. I can totally, I love this idea. I wrote down gravity forms and type forms so I can steal it.
That's fine.
That's all I do is steal
That's all we
it.
do is steal each other's stuff. If anyone's listening to from the first episode to now, all we're doing is stealing each other's stuff. My door to my office just opened up and no one came in, but a dog just showed up. Bye, dog. He's leaving. Okay, so...
Oh, I hear.
I know.
Bedtime?
Yeah, let me just close the door.
Do you
Sorry,
go?
people on video, but just fill time. I'll cut it.
It's very, very quiet. We can't hear it. This is where Justin is ignoring his children. We're doing this at bedtime. My kids at swimming lessons. We're riffing here.
We're riffing.
We had a minute.
Maybe I'll cut it. Maybe I won't. We like keeping it raw here at ACES conference.
We're real people.
No, but I'm all about. That's the thing, right? I'm all about the process. We do a lot of IT glue documentation. The last step is hand off to, like I said, is hand off to consultant to follow the IT glue steps because they're way more in depth than tasks. And you know what I do for IT glue documentation? I love doing this. When I need to teach my operations manager something, I will do it myself, write out steps in BB edit or text edit. I will then repeat those steps in a video. I'll screen video. I use ScreenFlow. Make a video explaining what I'm doing. I will then make an IT glue document and I will attach said video and have the steps.
Nice.
With screenshots if I can do as much as possible.
Sure.
So, and then I will put it in the appropriate, if it's for a client. Every client in IT Glue for us, we have two, in their documents, we have 2 folders. We have one with their name and one with our name. And our name is locked. They can't see it if they have IT Glue access. So we drop it in there. So when we had a client who had Active Directory, my operations manager doesn't know how to do Active Directory, but I had steps and I made a movie. Open up TeamViewer, click on this, click on that, use this password. Here's the link, do this, do that, and then made it easy. Process. It's all about process and making it easier.
Do you use, sorry, now we're talking about IT Glue a little bit. I was working on an RFP for a customer, a potential customer, and one of the things they asked was, is there a repository of help docs? Do you do that with IT Glue? I know it's a feature. I don't know if anybody's doing it. Are you doing it?
A repository of help desk. Well, we do a lot of documentation for the client in that folder. So, I write a lot of documents called how to, like how to connect to the VPN. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, it is, but it's not, because I wasn't thinking it through. Because really, it would be like they would have access to most of the customers would probably see that through your Zendesk.
Oh yeah, so we don't do it in
Zendesk
Zen. Yeah, we don't do it in Zendesk.
Yeah.
Like if you go to my Zendesk help desk, there's like how to set up your iPhone 3G to connect to your Google account. Talk about outdated content.
Side note: they're putting 5G wireless in my wife's building at work, and she's so excited.
Did you see that thing with AT&T where they like faked the number and then people started just putting Post-it notes that said 5G on their phones?
I love it. Yeah,
great. You know what? I had a call today with somebody and I realized that like computers are hard, man. I'd much rather be in business.
Well, you got the best of both worlds.
Which is why I like writing. I like coming up with processes. You know what? Speaking of this, I did this for my staff. Okay, I'm gonna haughty type for a second. There are two great books out there written by the same guy: the Phoenix Project and the Unicorn Project. The Unicorn Project just came out; it's new. It's supposedly like a sequel to the Phoenix Project, which came out 3-4 years ago, and it's more about DevOps. But there's so much takeaway for IT consultants, so I bought the books for my entire team. I bought each one of them a copy of each book on Amazon. And I was like, this is not mandatory. This is not mandatory, but I want you to read this. Because I'll give you the
Did you sign the copies for them?
By the way, if you have a signed copy of Appleize on your idea, it may have a secret message on one of the pages, and no one, I don't know if I've given that one away or not, because I have a couple left. But like, if you have one of my secret copies of Appleize, find the secret message and let me know. No, but so here's the premise of Phoenix Project, right? Day one, are you getting your copy? It has to be a signed. If I signed it.
Oh no, I bought it from. I'm the one sucker who bought it from Amazon.
So it's not going to be in there. Yeah, if you have like one of my leftover copies from South by. All right, so the story of the Phoenix Project, right? Day one. Whoops, there goes my Oculus. Day one, Bill is he's like an IT manager. He's like one of the IT people. And the CTO gets fired and he gets promoted to CTO at 9 a.m. And at noon, the CEO calls him into the office and says, the Phoenix Project is 6 months behind schedule and it's your fault. And he's like, oh? And so the rest of the book is them figuring out all these problems. And like one of the major problems that's in there, and I think this is kind of what drove me to doing all this, is that whenever there was a server problem with like the 10 old servers they had, there was only one guy in the office who knew how to fix it. And they don't have to go to that one guy, right?
Yeah.
And so we talk about this a lot because when I try to sell Virtua to people, I'm saying you're not, because you asked me, how do I split my time up? If you're listening to these episodes in order, I think it was 3, 4, maybe 5 episodes ago. The problem is I don't need to be the one with the answers. I have hired people and I write documentation to allow them to do things, which is great when you hire a new tech, because when I'm like, everything's written in IT Glue and they're like, but I don't know how to do this. I'm like, great, we need to write more documentation. What are you writing down? How to hire new tech?
No, I'm writing down 2 things that I wanted to say before we hang up on everybody.
Okay, fine. All right, go with number 1.
I don't know how we are on time, but
it's
not that I wasn't listening to you. I was listening to you. I love you, Justin.
I love you too, man. No, we got plenty of time, man. According to my computer, I have 2 hours of recording time left.
No way, man. I got to go make dinner in 20 minutes. Okay, so two things that I wanted to say. That the original thing we were talking about with the forms.
Yeah.
I always shout out to Mike at Wild Frog. He has talked to me about forms like that for about a year and a half. He sent me his forms 3 or 4 times because I keep going, oh, that's great. I want to steal it and put it in, and I never have. So
Yeah.
if he is one of the faithful 37 listeners,
We're going
no,
up.
are we okay? 37 listeners. Mike, thank you very much for that, and I still haven't implemented it. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about, bringing it back to something we've talked about in a previous episode, and I've talked to a lot of people recently. And so this is way off topic, but we're going to wrap it around anyway.
Sure.
I've talked to a lot of people recently about when they've got word that they're going to lose a big contract or a customer that they care about, right? So I want to say, I think you and I had a talk probably like 2 months ago. I was like, hey, I've got this client. I'm going to meet him. I'm either going to double my revenue from them or they're going to fire me. It's one or the other, right?
Right. I remember that.
Went to the meeting and left the meeting going, they were like, well, we need more from you. We're not going to pay you anymore. And I was like, well, I'm not going to do any more if you're not going to pay me anymore. And I'd be fine letting you go. Right. And we kind of had we had like an impasse. And they had in-house IT and we talked about it. And I said, look, there's some duplication here. Right now you're paying me to be the IT guy for the IT guy.
Right.
I'm happy to take on some of this other work for you, but we have to change how we're doing it. They said, well, anyway, so we talked, we stayed relevant. We made an exit plan and we had an exit strategy. And I can't say enough that how important it is to just hang in with those people and be good, be genuine, and still perform at the top of your game. Because I think I told you yesterday, I got the call yesterday. They said, hey, Tim, we let go 14 people yesterday, including our in-house IT guy. Catch the ball, Willie. And so I think that's just it's a really relevant thing for us all to do, to remember, because we get pissed, right? Yeah, right? And we were like...
Well, we talked about this. We talked about how people get, even like I said to you, I think in the first episode when we talked about me losing a client, I get emotional about that stuff. I'm right now working with a client that I'm in where you were 2 months ago with this particular. I have a call with them Friday, and I'm going to see them next week, and I'm not really sure what's going to happen. And they want. It's funny is that what I think is that they want me, but they don't necessarily want Virtua, which is a tough thing because for 2008, 12 years. 12 years actually. We're recording this in beginning of January, but 12 years in next week for me, and it's I can't separate the two. I am Virtua. I have sneakers that say Virtua on them. I can't separate that. So, but yeah, you never know, because here's the thing. Also, let's say you did lose that client and you were on top of your game, right? And they did cancel you, right?
Sure.
And then a month later they fire their IT guy. Right. They're still gonna remember how good you were. So timing is about it, but they may come back.
Yeah, you gotta. I assume everybody's coming back, and that
I assume everyone's coming back also, and no one ever does. I'm so sad about this. I'm gonna break, right? Because this is what they do. I tried and it just doesn't work.
But it's also that network thing, right? We've talked about that before. The other people in the business, and maybe that business doesn't come back, but maybe
we've had situations where we lost somebody, but we were really good with one person at that client. That person left, and they worked at a new firm, and guess who's taking care of their IT there?
Yeah.
Right. And this goes back to another episode. I love that we just keep going. If you listen to these out of order, you have no idea what episodes we're talking about. But we talk about expert marketing, and we talk about social media marketing, which is social networking, not social media, and keeping yourself relevant in front of those people. That's super important.
It's huge.
Be good. Be the best you can be. And you know what? If you can't be good, find someone to be good. They always say, whatever you can't do, find someone to do it. I can't do marketing, so we hired somebody.
I'm a crappy tech. That's why I've got a partner.
I'm not. I'm doubting my tech. I mean, I'm really good at problem solving. So like when my texts come to me, and I don't like calling them texts, but when my texts come to me, you know, when they have to escalate it up to me, like there's a reason for that.
Sure.
You know, and the answer is always fonts. It's always fonts. Because we deal with a lot of graphic design firms. It's always fonts.
Yeah, it's always fonts. It's always a font problem.
That could be our new. That's our episode title.
I'm gonna. All right. Well, I will. I have a private channel in the Mac admins with a couple guys, and that is the name of the channel.
Is it really?
It's
now
fucking,
everyone's
it's
gonna want.
fonts.
Now everyone's gonna want into your little private club there.
Fuck it. It's always a font problem.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's true. All right.
Justin's feelings are hurt that he's not in the channel.
A little bit. That's cool. I have too much going on in that Mac admins.
You don't want to be.
I'm in the Pokemon Go channel. That's enough. Did you know? I'm going to end on this. Did you know? Because I don't think you do. Did you know
I probably
that
don't.
in the Mac admin Slack, every Pokemon character has been added as a custom emoji?
Did you know that I've never played Pokemon?
Did you know there's no good time to answer with the Charizard Pokemon? There's no question that needs to be asked that you can respond with Squirtle.
You know
None.
what? You're right. I did not know that.
None. All right, we're losing our minds tonight. Okay, this could be the Tuesday Night Wine episode.
Yeah, this one's cutting into my. I should have had a glass of wine to start the.
We should start
show.
doing After Darks. That'd be so cool.
Hey, have you? I can't even do it. Have you heard about Aftermash?
Oh, I get it. After Dark, Aftermash.
I was
That's
gonna.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I tried.
Aces Conf Aftermash. You know what? Maybe we'll do an Aftermash viewing party after Aces, which is May 19th and 20th of 2020. Get your tickets now at acesconf.com. That's ACESCONF.com. Listen, why haven't you signed up yet? Not you, Tim, but why haven't you signed up yet? I'm talking to you, the audience. Sign up today, acesconf.com. Tim, you got anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
I would just like to thank the faithful 44 for hanging with us to the end of this one.
7 people made it. Yeah, this may not. This is episode X from now on. All right, that's it for us.
I got nothing else. Love you.
Nothing
all.
else? Okay, fine. All right, that's it from us. Thanks, everyone.